Hello everybody and welcome back to Lone Oak Farm with Chainsaw 100. This is the multiplayer series and we did many things in the previous episode. We're actually going to continue from where we left off pretty much. I did start to do some of the baling. Chainsaw finished it in his time-lapse video. So now all we have to do is move those bales. And let's just have a bit of a tidy up here first of all. Okay, that should allow me to get the drill in position. And before I do head off to the store to pick up the round bale trailer, I am just going to go and reconfigure the wheels on this. It needs to be swapped over from the row crops, the doubles, to, well, probably those flotations again. Although I could actually do it with just the singles, which would be fine. The single standard. Let's just take a look and see what is going to be the most appropriate. I'm thinking something along the lines of this. That looks good. Well, it looks a bit slim. It's been on a bit of a diet, but anyway, that will do nicely for doing a bit of carting of bales. So yes, the bales are going to be going over to the BGA. We can, if we wanted to, have just the lorry doing the carting. We could have two trailers together, but we've decided against that because doing it this way, having one trailer each, means there is going to be a gap between the trailers going in and out of the BGA. So they are going to have time to process it. He's literally just attached that trailer to this dolly. It wasn't attached before, and now I can't attach the dolly. Sorted. Right, let's go over to the store and we'll pick up the trailer. And yes, all of these bales need to be picked up. There's so many. I wish I could see how many there actually are. You can't, well, you don't seem to be able to see the stats in multiplayer, but yeah, there's quite a few. If you did watch Chainsaw's video last week, you'll have seen all of these being produced. I started off, he finished it, he did most of it. So yes, they all need to be sold to begin with. Then we're going to move on to the cotton. Now the cotton is a bit of a problem really, because we only have one field of cotton, and even to lease the harvester it is £43,000, so not very cheap. In fact, ridiculously expensive. It's far too much. It seems to be just taking a percentage of the overall purchase price, outright price. It really should not be as much as £43,000 plus an hourly and daily fee just to lease it. It's ridiculous. Yes, obviously the lorry is much faster. There we go. And I have a trailer just the same. Because you have to have two separate trailers for round bales and square bales, we have differentiated them by having some of the round bale trailer with blue on. Some of the bodywork is blue. The bed is, I think it's called Onyx, the colour. So that's how we're going to keep them separate. It'd be good if we don't have to do any more silage for a while, because we have done quite a bit, so we are going to try and focus on other things to do, like the cotton. And we're also going to be putting in some other crops as well. I did mention doing sugarcane, and well, we both sort of came to the agreement that sugarcane was fine, but it might be worth looking for a mod to have a larger harvester. Okay, we are ready to go. It's not going to be as fast as the lorry, but at least we do have an auto-loading trailer. Now, certainly looking at that, you can see that there are plenty of bales on the trailer, so I don't think it's going to take as long as it looks. It looks like a huge amount of bales, but actually, yeah, I don't think it's going to be quite as big of a job as it initially appears. We'll soon find out though. But yeah, that doesn't look too bad. The only thing which does look bad is the bales which have rolled into there. We should have had the anti-roll bale mod installed. There we go, it's a full load once again, and so far we appear to have picked up 68 bales between us, and there are only, well, 2 left there and probably about 6 left in the other field, so it's not too bad at all, that. 70 something bales. Right, let's head off. And as usual, there's going to be no money coming in until midnight. So we don't get paid until midnight. but it is going to be a fairly big chunk of money. We're also about to have a bit of a mess on our hands, I think, because of the bales which aren't going to go into there. Okay. I was going to try the approach of lifting the bales up and putting them in, but that works too. It's also a way of doing it. Just trying to push them a bit further up. It might make a bigger mess though, possibly. Yes, and also I mustn't block the way for the forklift. Right, okay, so it's time for me to do my one. Now, if you're interested in doing this yourself, press Y just once, and then you can use the left mouse button to slide it across, and then you can press Y again once it's in position. So I'm not guaranteeing this is going to be close enough, and some of them are still going to make quite a mess, but it will still be closer than before. So you probably are still going to need a forklift. Okay. Close enough. Better than before, like I said. Yes, at least they're not just right there. So we probably should always have a telehandler here. Like I said, it was going to make a mess. So, yes, I think a telehandler would have been good. See if we can push it in. Ah, yes, that's good. Problem is, the BGA is already almost full. Okay, there we go. We have just one more bale left there, and then there's a few left in the field, so I'll very quickly go and get those. Does this map have traffic? I'm not too sure. Or have I just switched it off? I've switched it off. Okay, so we'll keep it on, because otherwise I'm just going to continuously make the mistake of driving on the left, which is going to be very frustrating. Oh no! I'm going to be overtaken. Just like ETS2, I get overtaken all the time. Mostly because I do external contracts. I think that's very strange actually. I did notice that somebody said you'll be talking about ETS2 in your farming simulator videos because you always talk about farming simulator in your ETS2 videos. Yes, they're always back to front for some reason. Okay, that's enough of ETS2. Farming simulator. The remaining bales are in the crop over there, which shouldn't happen again because we will use the anti-roll bale mod, which is a fantastic mod, really good. What I'll do is I'll drop this off over here, then I'll go back over into the Manitou and just finish off selling the remaining bales. Well, Chainsaw said that he can't see these bales. When you get up to them you can't see them, so you're going to have to try and remember here. It's like a game. There's some over here. There's definitely some over here. I've picked them up already. It is... yes, difficult. Right, that's all the bales out of the field. Now we can just drop them over here. Should do nicely. Put them right down on the ground. Now Chainsaw can pick them up and transfer. So yes, I'll go and put this back over here. And then we can see how much we've made from all the silage. So these two trailers here are obviously the square bale trailers, and the blue ones are for round bales. Okay. Here's the Manitou. How much is left processing? Probably still quite a bit. Oh no, it's all done. And press Y. Yep, that's it. Some always escape. The final bale. The time is now 1:20 to speed up, well, the time, unsurprisingly. And yes, we're going to see how much we've made much faster now. It's all processed before midnight, so what we make at midnight is going to be all of those bales. I'm looking forward to it. This Manitou needs to go back over to the store. It's actually for loading up pallets, not moving bales. It's been driving on the correct side of the road, which does feel incredibly weird, but I'm sure anybody who lives in a country where you drive on the right will think that anywhere driving on the left is incredibly weird as well. It just doesn't feel right. Anyway, there we go. Turn the engine off. That's some very nice illumination. Keep the sign lit up. So, yes, just waiting for that magic hour of midnight. And very soon we're going to have to pay for the cotton harvester. We're going to lease it, obviously. 3 seconds, and there we go. £169,000 from just this one grass field. fantastic money, absolutely fantastic. So in the morning we'll make a start on the cotton. Now it's very hard to get an idea of how big this field actually is, but it's field number 40 which we have, which is ready to harvest, as you can see. It's very similar to 41, very similar, and that isn't a huge field, but when you think about it, for a header which is not that big, it will still take a little while. We'll figure out what we need tomorrow. Right then, so let's get this cotton harvester sorted out. Yes, so we need to get one of these leased. £43,000 to lease it. That is some ridiculous money. We could have had that one, which is much cheaper, but then, yeah, it's just not as, I guess you could say, interesting. This one is more like a snail, as I referred to it before. It's actually better though. The case is actually better because it's twice the capacity. So anyway, just trying something different. No, I've not really used it before. It's the part of the John Deere DLC, which to many was quite disappointing, but I want to give it another go. So it should be... There it is. And we're also going to have something to pick up these bales with. They're pretty big. So into the cotton technology section. We don't really need to go any bigger than something like this or even this. This can take 2 bales, which might be plenty. Although to lease this it is 4,539, which isn't too bad. So I think we'll go for this because I haven't used it before. There we go. Now all I need is a tractor. This one will do. We will be changing the tractors that we have at some point. I have had quite a few requests to get a case tractor, so that is probably the next one to get, if we're going to replace any. That's the field just over there, if you're interested. But you'll be seeing a lot more of that in a minute or two anyway. Typical, the field which the bales were stuck in has now been harvested. So that would have made finding the bales much easier. Oh, I see a traffic jam, that can only mean one thing. Yes, that's right. We do also now have the money for the combine harvest, which we need to get at some point, because we do already have another field ready to harvest. So I've been thinking that probably the sort of American style class Lexion is going to be the best one to go for. I'd quite like to have that, so I think that's what we are going to go for. It won't be today when we buy it, but it will certainly be next week, because we do have to harvest, I think it's a soybean field. We have a soybean field to harvest, and, well, we're not going to harvest it without a combine, so yes, it's definitely going to be next week. There's actually no rush as well to have this, since it takes a while for the bales to be produced, but at least it's going to be over there ready. I've always considered this little field here, but it maybe is just a bit too small. Is it even worth setting the combine up for it? It's probably part of a larger establishment anyway. And whenever I say stuff like this, I always think, now I'm going to have to check. So I will check. Nope, it is its own field at £48,000. Is it worth it? I suppose it could be. Maybe for a crop like poplar, or maybe even cotton. So here we are, this is the field. And, well, I would like to have 2 harvesters in here, but it's just going to be such an expense. We might just stick it on a worker. Well, there's one thing I've learnt. It's slow. I wish we had like a glance mod so that we could see how full other machines are. I'm just waiting for the big unload. So we've been going for probably 10 minutes and this much has been completed out of this much. Yeah, I wish I had another machine. I feel like just getting another machine anyway. Obviously it would not be the right thing to do financially, but it would certainly make things much more fun. Okay, well the price for cotton is actually £3,938 per 1,000 litres, which is very good. Yeah, I was looking at this before and I got this one here confused. Sunflowers, I think. Some of these icons are pretty bad. Pretty confusing. I should actually install the... I think it's global modding, is it? Global modding? Really good icons. Really good. Should have them installed. Makes a big difference. Here we go. It's taken long enough. About 15 minutes. There is the first cotton bale. Up close and personal. They really are huge. It's actually the first time I've used this machine properly. I think I did use it in my first video of the DLC. But we put it into operating position like this. I think it is just basically an auto stacker. Just, you go alongside and then you can pick it up. There we go. One cotton bale. As for how we pick it up, I'll probably get it wrong, but I would say the best way of doing it is on the yellow side. But that's probably the wrong way. We'll see if I know, because it will automatically rotate it. So that is the obvious way of picking it up. Let's see how obvious it actually is. It is! Wow. It goes onto there. Nice. If only we had another harvester. Well, as I've now found out, it is 3,900 and something pounds per 1,000 litres, and we have 10,000 litres in each bale. I think it's definitely worth it. Yeah, we're not going to make as much money. In fact, we're going to make £43,000 less, but it's just going to make it so much more enjoyable. So here he comes. Really does fold up quite nicely. Keeps it nice and low. Must be so it complies with the maximum height limit for bridges, going underneath bridges. And well, if you really wanted to go in a tunnel with it, I suppose you might have to. We'll start to get things set up. It can build itself. It pretty much does rebuild itself. Look at that. Obviously the game would call it unfolding. Most probably would do, but yeah, that must have taken so long to actually design. Right then, I think what we'll do is we'll have the two together. It looks much more impressive than having one at one end of the field and one at the other. So here we go. We are harvesting cotton. Turn the beacon off. And because this takes forever, we can start a time-lapse here. Maybe sometime until my first cotton bale is ready. Okay, well, I did just drop the bale off, but unfortunately For some reason the recording didn't work, but it's okay because there's going to be another bale dropped in a minute or two. We are very close to completion, and well, I think there's going to be a total of 4 full bales and then possibly 2 partially filled. Obviously the one which I'm going to produce here is going to be partially filled. We do have 3 full ones over there, so enough to totally fill the auto stacker. I think you would call it an auto stacker for a cotton bale. I can't see what else it would be. And yes, you have to sell it over at the spinnery, so yeah, we're going to be selling 2 full auto stacker loads very soon, I would imagine. And yeah, we're just going to finish off here, so I'll do a few jump cuts and then we'll be done in a matter of seconds. It's been good though with the 2 harvesters. I would not want to do this with only 1 harvester. It would be quite painful. We have done a large amount of the field in probably, how long? I think we've been doing it for about 45 minutes roughly, so not too bad. New bale from chainsaw there. Yes, the machine that laid an egg. Yes, it's obviously a bale. That's not a bad lineup though. It's 4 totally full bales. Now I've always wondered, why is this job on Farming Simulator not that popular? And I think it is just, again, it's like potatoes and sugar beet. It's just slow. It's not a very exciting job, I suppose you could say. It's impressive machinery, but you just don't get much out of it. Like, we've had 4 bales so far. So I think that's the only reason why. It's just it's interesting, but only for a short period of time. Right, well, that is chainsaw done. Unless he's the one that's going to go back up there, I'm not too sure. If I just move out of the way, I could get myself out of a job here. Yes, that'll do. Tidy up. It's a good job we haven't been going for an hour, because if we had these going for an hour, it would cost us even more, which is hard to believe. Right, so there we go. We'll put another one just over here, somewhere out of the way. Should be able to put it into there, hopefully. Unload finished bale, press Z, there we go. Yeah, before it didn't record for some reason. I probably didn't press the record button hard enough or something, but there we go. Okay, well that's 3. Right, so Chainsaw's going to take the first load over to the spinnery. We're going to see it sell. And then there are 3 more actually to pick up here. And actually there could even be 4, which would be annoying because, well, yes, it can only carry 3. So as this has to be returned anyway, it might be worth taking this over there, that we can unload. At least I hope we can unload it. Oh, don't tell me it's wasted. Maybe there's not enough to actually unload. That's a real shame. Yeah, I can't see any way of emptying the chamber into the back there. So, seems that is wasted. But yeah, either way, we have 3 bales here, and 3 have already gone. So here we are, over at the spinnery. This is probably going to be a very impressive amount of money coming in, because when I last checked it was almost £4,000 for every 1,000 litres. It's 10,000 litres in every bale, so we have 30,000 litres here. If you're a quick mathematician, you'll already know exactly how much we're going to have. Actually, no, you wouldn't, because I haven't told you the exact figure. But yeah, roughly £4,000 for every 1,000 litres. Here we go. So it's 79,000 for the first 2, 39 for that, bringing our total already up to £490,000. So cotton is worth it, definitely. It's just slow. very satisfying job, that. That's been the best job today. And the final one. There we go. So it's going to be a very similar price, but probably not quite as good. So that was another £91,000. Very impressive. So we now have over £500,000. We have 581,000, and that turns out to have really been worth it. So we're going to leave it there. Chainsaw 100 has been recording the whole time, so he does have a video as well. The link is down below, probably in the comments section and in the description. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, see you again soon. Bye for now.